But there's infinite numbers of little crypto casinos and online casino websites that pop up where, you don't even know who's behind it. You don't know their faces. You don't know their names. You don't know where they're based, that sort of thing.
How have you been able to create that trust and cultivate it with your players and with everybody through BetHog?
We have in our leadership, like the reputability within the U.S. betting space that should hopefully provide those consumers like some level of comfort working with us and sending their crypto to our site and back and vice versa.
Have you noticed any difference about like the growth marketing in a crypto gambling website versus a traditional online gambling casino?
Oh yeah, it's been a huge learning curve, and it's been a lot of fun. You can reach people through wallet information and on-chain activity. It's just a whole new world in terms of the traditional marketing channels and mix there, and then also the data capture side.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. My name is Andres Figueira and I'm going to be your host for the day. This show is brought to you by the Global Talent Company. We're helping fast-growing teams hire exceptional remote talent from Argentina, South Africa, and beyond. We connect companies with world-class professionals who bring skill, reliability, and a global perspective to every role. And just for our listeners, we're offering an exclusive 10% discount on your first hire. So all you need to do is just visit globaltalent.co, click Start Hiring, and mention the podcast listener discount when we reach out. And today, with me here, I am speaking with Tyler Axon, Head of Growth at BetHog, a crypto casino and sportsbook from the creators of FanDuel. So how's it going, Tyler? It's a pleasure to have you here on the show, man.
Hi, Andres. Yeah, thanks for having me on. No, all it's going well. As you mentioned, working hard to help BetHog grow. It's early in our journey. So both a very busy time, but a very exciting time for the marketing side, and certainly doing a lot to try to get our name out there. So more than happy to come on your show and hopefully some other people can hear more about us.
Of course, man. No, right. We're very glad to have you here to come on the episode and everything. Because just to give the audience a bit more context, Tyler, would you be able to tell us a bit about your journey, what your background is, and how you arrived at BetHog and became head of growth?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm originally from the U.S. and grew up in the Northeast. Went to school at the University of Connecticut, and then continued to grad school where I went to Columbia University. Throughout both of those and like kind of my whole education period, I was really into sports. Like big basketball player, a huge fan of the UConn sports teams and the like there. So that kind of carried over into my career where like, I wanted to go into marketing. And I viewed kind of sports as, the kind of ultimate connection between brand and consumer. Like, where are you getting more passionate consumers of a product? Sports fans consuming like the players and teams that they watch and love. So that kind of steered my journey there. And early in my career, I really kind of got into sports via the sponsorships and partnerships route. I started off working at a few different marketing agencies, initially Wasserman, and then another group called CSM, Sport and Entertainment, based out of the UK, and worked kind of both partnering with sports brands, like some that we worked with are MLS, Olympics, things like that to help activate sponsorships and partnerships. And then also on the property side, worked with brands like Coca-Cola, AT&T, a few others, a lot of smaller ones as well. But definitely kind of got that love for, solving the puzzle of like a partnership, like where do these two brands interact? How do they kind of work to jointly reach customers and consumers to help reach joint goals there, and really enjoyed that. When I kind of eventually made the next step in my career, I wanted to jump to the brand side, help kind of build something from the ground up, or help build a brand and help them grow. Ended up being kind of right around the time that sports betting was legalized in the U.S. So I ended up making the jump over to BetMGM, which is a sportsbook and casino in the U.S. here, which is looking to compete with DraftKings and FanDuel, which are kind of the two powers and still are here. And again, kind of back to what I said at the beginning, like what's another way and kind of the ultimate way that now sports brands interact with their customers, or their consumers rather, and that's sports betting. So ended up making the jump there, worked primarily on like sponsorships and partnerships on that side as well. Kind of had a few more steps in growing as a marketer there before like my BetMGM boss ended up making the jump to this startup. It was called BetHog, and he originally came from FanDuel, where he worked under the original co-founders of FanDuel, and now our founders of BetHog, who are Nigel Eccles and Rob Jones.
Okay.
And my former boss, who's now our CMO, Kyle Wachtel, kind of had to sell me a minute on the name BetHog, but once he did so, kind of got me in on the opportunity to make the jump and kind of start building something from the ground up over here. So we overall, as our team, we got us from BetMGM, FanDuel team, and the like there, kind of bringing that U.S. sportsbook and casino experience, now hoping to grow and build something in the more global sector of the crypto side of things with BetHog.
Wow, that is amazing. And the previous one that you were at is BetMGM, if I heard correctly.
Yep, that's
And
correct.
that is not a crypto casino. It's a regular online casino that just
Yep.
has like normal money.
Yep, regular online casino. None of the U.S. sports books. This was well before some of the sweepstakes stuff where like stake.us got involved and the like there. But nope, just regular old casino. We were building the app there, and it was a kind of joint venture with MGM Resorts. They were invested in it, so that's where the name comes from. And then also we had the arm of our business that was the land-based casinos.
Okay, wow, cool. And Tyler, is there or have you noticed any difference about like the growth marketing in a crypto gambling website versus a traditional online gambling casino?
Oh yeah, it's been a huge learning curve, and that's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's essentially like the crypto customer is totally different. I mean, never mind the fact that we're a lot of U.S. experienced people now, kind of looking more global. But yeah, I mean, if you consider using some of the terminology, like it's like Web 2 versus Web 3. I mean, the people that we're reaching through some like older methodologies with BetMGM, whether that be just like TV commercials or radio ads or the like there, that's certainly not where we want to reach the people on the cutting edge of the internet in crypto. Never mind like some of the data stuff. I mean, you can reach people through wallet information and on-chain activity. It's just a whole new world in terms of the traditional marketing channels and mix there, and then also the data capture side.
No, I can only imagine. And I also think like I'm a big crypto fan. Like I love crypto and everything it represents. I think it's just so cool. But when I think about casinos, I know that marketing for gambling has a lot of restrictions. But when you pair that up with crypto, I feel that you got to find even more obstacles in how you can or are able to market what you guys do. Do you have any kind of stories or experience that you can share with us in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I think from like an approval standpoint, there's still a big kind of hurdle to get over with crypto. While it's, I mean, in a lot of ways, like the reason, kind of the thesis behind crypto being like all public information, all trustworthy based on kind of that, everything that goes into that, like the same can be true for casino. Like we don't have to, if you're just, as long as you trust us and what we're doing, like it's your money directly to our wallets and back. There's no third party like credit cards or banks or anything like that that requires approval. So in many ways, it can be and should be considered like an even more trustworthy way to operate. Of course, that requires trust on our part. So there is a big hurdle there. And that's a big piece of our marketing too, is trying to get people to, see our faces, see that we're a trustworthy team that you can send your crypto to. As far as like the actual approval side of things, while on the global scale, maybe licensure is more independent to like different markets. It's certainly like a struggle and challenge for some of those more traditional channels that we might want to participate in, whether it's like display ads or advertising on different social media apps. Like there's still a pretty big restriction around advertising crypto and advertising gambling. So put the two together, and it's really pretty difficult to get approved on a lot of those sites. So as much my time is dedicated towards trying to be creative or trying to be figure out what's next for us and where we're going to advertise, a lot of it also has just been working through the legal side of things and showing we're a legitimate business and we should be allowed to advertise on social media site X.
No, it's just that's what I think as well. It's like it's crazy how much regulation you guys must face. But I love how you mentioned that it's like You have to trust your clients and they have to trust you. And in that regard, how have you been able to create that trust and cultivate it with your players and with everybody through BetHog?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that kind of goes all the way back to like the original, our founders, Nigel and Rob, and our other founder, Ryan. Kind of their thesis in putting this together was that there was a gap in this space. Like, there's obviously big players like Stake, which everybody knows them. They're kind of best in class. They're such a legitimate business now that people can kind of have that trust piece. But there are infinite numbers of little crypto casinos and online casino websites that pop up where, you don't even know who's behind it. You don't know their faces. You don't know their names. You don't know where they're based, that sort of thing. So with us, like, we have, maybe not so much myself, but in our leadership, like, the reputability within the U.S. Betting space that should hopefully provide those consumers like some level of comfort working with us and sending their crypto to our site and back and vice versa. So that's kind of been a big piece there, and we want to lead. We want to lead with ourselves and be outward public facing as a leadership team. And then, I mean, it's kind of just a big piece of our marketing mix as well. Like, we're trying to send our founders on podcasts, on interview circuits and the like there. And that's why, I mean, even when you read it, like our tagline from the founders of FanDuel, we hope that, FanDuel's certainly the market leader in the US here and very trustworthy on that side of things. So hopefully that can kind of extend as well.
And when you mentioned your marketing mix, Tyler, do you know, or can you tell us about what is working best for you right now in terms of gaining new players and making sure the ones that you do have stay? You guys have like benefits and prizes and stuff. Like, I don't even know how it could work, but just want to know more about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I guess I can start with the latter half of that question in relation to benefits. I mean, that is a huge like differentiator with gambling on these crypto sites relative to like a regulated book. Is like, we don't have those kind of intermediary fees taken off by a credit card company or something there. So we kind of can take that cut and turn it around and give it back to the customer. So the benefits for BetHog and for someone who's whether they're winning or losing, what we can give back to them as being like a member of our ecosystem is so much greater than that, like in my experience back in the US. So it's kind of a fun piece there, and specifically with some members of our community and kind of how we talk to them. Like, it's really easy to sell. Like, we have best in class benefits on kickbacks on a weekly, monthly, daily basis. You can get additional bonuses on the side there. There's all sorts of promotions that will run as we kind of continue to grow here. And then the other side is the crypto piece. We're eventually going to be launching a native token as well that will have benefits within our ecosystem. And we're certainly going to kick back to like our biggest players and partners and everything there to kind of make sure they're compensated when that's dropped. We actually have our airdrop program going now. So if you play on BetHog, in addition to all those VIP benefits that you'll also get points towards the token when it does drop.
Wow, so cool. You guys are making a token. That makes it all the more legit.
Yeah, no, have to play in the crypto game. We're all figuring it out as we go here.
No, of course. And now that you're talking about that, like tokenization and the way that it's a decentralized casino, and like I understand how it works, would you be able to explain to us what it is marketing to crypto native users versus traditional casino players, where you mentioned like for BetMGM, you would do TV ads and maybe radio and get another demographic more on board than what I imagine you must be finding with crypto, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been an interesting kind of adjustment. I mean, on the one hand, you look at crypto, particularly kind of in the most recent cycle where, meme coins were all the rage. Like it was a big overlap in kind of that customer demographic, like you're looking for thrill seekers, you're looking for people who, have built out a strategy and think they can create an opportunity for themselves. Like, that's the sports bettor, that's the meme coin trader. So it kind of overlapped there, and where, there is a nice synergy. But it does kind of create an element of, we thought with, like back at BetMGM, for example, we think we know the channels where we're marketing to sports bettor or a casino player. Like now we kind of have to filter that through marketing to a crypto consumer. And like, if you consider the direction that all digital marketing is going now, where, everything's more internet, more social media, more influencer driven rather than those traditional channels, like for that web-free consumer, it's cranked up to 10. So really, like for us, a lot of those channels that we're working through are, social media and influencer based. There are still some, like SEO affiliates and, like you want to be in those kind of channels as well, display ads and the like there. But a lot of our targeting is kind of totally renovated towards the crypto customer and the data we can get on them. And then, just trying to adapt with where we're seeing players and learn as we go for where kind of these types of consumers who are in many ways like the smartest types of consumers on the internet in terms of these types of ads, where we can reach them.
Yeah, no, I know what's it called? Like the crypto crowd or the crypto audience, they all know too much for their own good because they know if the coins are going to go up, down. They all have a theory. They all have a way of looking at things. I know it because I was a part of it for a while, so I understand what you mean. Um, but Tyler, and how many players does BetHog have constantly like playing and within like your servers? Do you have that statistic?
Yeah, I mean, we're still fairly early days. We've definitely been looking internally for much of the year to kind of build out our product to make sure, again, all going back to those principles we shared before, like we want to make sure it's safe, it's trustworthy, it's the infrastructure is sound. So we've really been investing internally rather than in marketing so far. We're kind of getting ready to push the pedal to the metal there. So still like a relatively modest user base, but I mean, we have a really active community. That's the other side of things is like, it's really cool to kind of even anecdotally see how much these customers are bonding with our brand and active in, we had a Telegram group going for a while. Now we've shifted it over to on-site chat, which is really cool. And seeing those people be active. They're always reaching out to like, members of our team, our VIP hosts, myself. So it's really exciting to see people kind of get on with the brand early on. And, that was kind of the thesis too, with picking BetHog as a title is obviously before I came on. But, a lot of our competitors have pretty standard, like gambling related names as their domain name. Pretty like, I mean, obviously there are ones that are doing better than others, but they do kind of blend all together to an extent. Like we absolutely want to stand out. And that's what we've been doing with our branding, with our name, with our characters. So we think it's starting to cut through there.
Okay, I love that. I love that. And now, in terms of your team, Tyler, and how big BetHog is, like how many people are helping out with this whole operation and composing this company?
Yeah, so we're a true startup. We have around 15 employees right now and still growing. But yeah, it's a really talented team. Almost everyone has experience. Like I mentioned, back in the U.S. regulated market on the business side, and then on the dev side. I mean, that's really where we're going to win. It makes my job kind of easy as like a marketer here. I just think our product is great and constantly evolving, and it's because our dev guys are so talented.
Okay, cool. No, okay, because like I see what you mean when you say like the whole logo, the name, even the slogan that you guys have, bring home that bacon. I love it. I laughed when I read it the first time. I was like, these guys seem cool. And Tyler, do you have anybody helping you out in like the whole marketing and growth department, or is it just you for now? Because 15 people is a lot less than I expected for an online
Yeah.
casino.
No, we certainly have a big plan and goal to target here, even with a small group, and we are still growing. But we have about half of our numbers on the business side, and we're all kind of pitching in with different elements on the marketing side of things as well.
Okay, okay. And BetHog's like working style, are you a remote first company or do you guys have like a several headquarters in different places or well, for 15 people I imagine just one headquarter, but
Yeah, no, we are fully remote, which is an interesting way of working, but I think we have a really collaborative team, so that kind of goes into the hiring element of it too. Like most of the people we brought on are very active, in our Slack channels and jumping on calls and the like there, but now we have about half of our teams based in the UK, the other half based in the US. So our US team gets together in New York every once in a while, but no formal headquarters or anything yet.
And in BetHog, like for example, I'm in Argentina right now. I live in Buenos Aires. Like, is BetHog accessible, and are you able to play from anywhere around the world? Like, I know online casinos have some regulations when it's with credit cards that are only for the country where they have the license to operate in or something like that. But how about BetHog? How does that work for you guys?
So we are not available everywhere. We are not available in the US, for example. We are licensed globally, but not within countries that restrict crypto gambling. So there are places like the UK, for example, where we have to pursue a separate license, which we have not done so yet. The US, there are groups that are kind of entering the market, even though it's a little ambiguous with sweepstakes law. We're choosing not to do that for now. But in Argentina, for example, you can access us. We are still available for, I think it's like 85% of the world's population. So still plenty of people can get on and enjoy BetHog. But no, everything's blocked on our end for those countries that it is ambiguous or it's a gray market, gray area. So if you go on and it says like, sorry, can't operate from here, then that answers the question.
Okay, okay. It seems crazy to me that the places where you have your workers for BetHog or where you're mostly located are places where you can actually play BetHog. That is interesting.
It's definitely confusing for some of our marketing partners. They'll be like, you must just want US people, right? You're a US guy, come partner with the New York Giants. And I'm like, it's not quite like that.
And so in terms of BetHog being only 15 people big, you guys are remote first, US, UK. Are you planning to expand, or do you feel that BetHog is in a position right now where you don't need to add extra people or an extra level of the workforce, and it's just like maintaining it lean how it is until you are able to pump the gas and just make sure pedal hits the metal, and then you'll start adding people?
Yeah, I mean, I think our founders and leadership are really experienced in building businesses like they did with FanDuel. They've done it with other companies as well. And I think they've kind of put it together in a way where, we feel confident that we can start to scale even just with our small number, but we can bring people on at a level of expertise. And as things come up, like we recently decided we really wanted to invest in CRM. We kind of started putting feelers out there, started talking to someone, they're really talented. Now they're coming on board. So it's the kind of approach of like, we don't think we're in a position where we want to like overinflate and disrupt the culture and kind of like what we have going on. But we certainly always want to be adding talented people to the mix to kind of help us grow and reach those goals.
Now, I get that. And also with the fact that crypto is a bit iffy in terms that it's a market and a place to be that it has you on your toes all the time. It doesn't make you feel that safe. And gambling, I know I feel it's a sure thing because the house always wins, but it takes a while. And people can actually win a lot before the house has won. So I understand that you guys want to keep it sustainable for the time being, just in case until you're actually ready to hire a lot more or anything like that. And in terms of being sustainable and keeping lean and just being 15 people, this leads to another topic that I love to talk about that I have not heard so much from in the crypto world, and that is AI. How are you guys at BetHog leveraging AI in any curious or different way that it's not just the usual back-end work that analyzes and speaks and just responds, but just wondering if you have anything you can provide insight about regarding that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think it probably bleeds through to every area of our product, honestly. I mean, we're in crypto. It's the cutting edge of the internet, so to speak. Like we need to kind of be in the AI space as well. I mean, on the most base level, like example, I mean, we have introduced the first ever AI live dealer game for blackjack. So we actually have like an AI blackjack game where you can go on and speak and make friends with this kind of AI companion who's also the dealer. It's modeled after live dealer blackjack, which is kind of like a very popular game. And, this way it gives us like a unique kind of character and spin on BetHog. We're now the home of the first ever AI dealer blackjack game. And it gives us characters to work with from a marketing perspective too. So we have so far, and we're going to bring in more, but we have Sunny, who's kind of the more polite, kind, like friendly dealer. And then we have Maria, who's going to get on there and curse you out. So we just ran like a big marketing campaign with Maria where people are finding clips of her, flipping people off and making fun of them when they lose money. So that was some fun little social media marketing for us there. So that's kind of like how we're embracing it on the brand side and on the product side. I mean, on the other side, as we're working, I mean, it's a part of everything we do, whether it's just, using it as a search tool and learning tool for myself as I'm figuring out different channels to work with, or
Of course.
optimizing and making, creative and stuff like that a little more efficient on the design side as well. But I also think, it's going to be a big piece of things with marketing, both for us on the crypto side of things, but for everyone eventually. I mean, so much of like a lot of our marketing approach and digital marketing is figuring out, SEO, where those high intent users who want to bet, going on and Googling like best sportsbook product, whereas BetMGM pop up on that list. Like a lot of these more internet savvy users are going to ChatGPT now. So how can we make sure that we're popping up in those rankings, that those AI agents are populating in addition to, the traditional search rankings?
No, that is something that I've noticed that all companies are paying extra attention to, and it's the fact that when you Google search something, you don't even get the 10 links that you got before. You get the AI summary of the different websites or companies that have been able to position themselves as the AI assistants, and then is when you get the other links. But nowadays, I don't even get to the bottom of the links. I always just click the little hyper link that is provided with the explanation, and it's like, okay, that's the place to be now. And Tyler, we're almost about to reach the end of the podcast, but I did want to ask you one more question, and it's what would you say is BetHog's number one priority for 2026? Now that we're ending this year, I'd love to know and to learn what you guys want to do and accomplish next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I mentioned, looking back on this past year, it's kind of coming to a close. Like our goal was really to be best in class from a product perspective. And we really do feel confident now that like whether it's rewards, games like the AI dealer, or just kind of general UX, like we really are top of class in the crypto casino and sportsbook market. So going forward, I mean, I think a lot of it for me as a marketer is going to be, really just kind of learning about what channels are going to be best for us. I think we have done a really good job of setting up the fundamentals. And I think that's kind of like, you go back to the beginning of the podcast, you're asking about like my marketing philosophy. I really think it's that. Like I'm not trying to capture lightning in a bottle with virality or anything like that. Like really just trying to build from the ground up, make sure we're doing a good job and optimizing the different channels where like we think our customers are going to be. And now that we're finally in a position where say, we have a product that's going to retain these customers when we acquire them, we're going to go out and do that. I think it's really just going to be about trying to find like, what is the channel that's going to make BetHog stand out. We think in our industry, like there's people who are winning in a lot of different ways. A lot of different marketing channels that kind of certain competitors are making their own and making their signature thing. And I think that'll be it for us. Like we've built the ground level now. Like where can we kind of find that area that's going to be distinct to BetHog and kind of take off? Maybe it's what you said. Maybe it'll be clips of a AI hog dealing cards that are all of a sudden on everyone's Instagram reels, and that'll be what everyone associates with us. And then when we look back and say, how do we get big? It was, that podcast host Andres came up with the idea, and here we are. But that's what we're looking for. I think, where we want to go from here from a marketing perspective.
And as the final question before I close up the episode, if anybody here in the audience is listening to us and they're not in the US and not in the UK, how could they go about learning if they can play in BetHog and putting some money in and checking it out? Like, what would the process be for that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like for now, unfortunately, like it would involve being in a country where we are legally operating. But you can always follow us. We're really active on X in particular, just at BetHog. So that way you can kind of be a part of the community and the ecosystem. I mean, our token hog is going to be available everywhere. So, if you believe in the company, but you're maybe not in a market where it's regulated and approved, like you can still kind of tag along and be a part of our journey in that way and just enjoying the content as well. And then, if there are any updates towards your individual market, like we'll have them posted there.
Tyler, with that said, thank you so much, man, for hopping on the episode. It's been a pleasure. It's been incredibly interesting, and I really do hope that BetHog keeps evolving and you accomplish all the goals that you guys have set, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem at all. And to everybody that has been here with us and listening, thank you so much for staying on the episode, for coming to learn about the different personalities that we speak to and all the different industries that we're learning about. So with that said, thank you so much for your time.